The nation of Iran, often overshadowed by more frequently mentioned biblical locales such as Israel, Egypt, and Babylon, holds a pivotal role in the narrative of biblical prophecy and world events. Far from being just another empire, Iran, or Persia as it was known in ancient times, is uniquely highlighted in the scriptures as a nation destined to profoundly influence the course of God's chosen people. The biblical story of Iran is richer and more intertwined with divine prophecy than many realize, tracing its origins back to the lineage of Noah and spanning to the era of Cyrus the Great. Persia's history is laced with critical moments that have shaped biblical history. Remarkably, it was this nation of pagan rulers that God ordained to liberate Israel, spearhead the reconstruction of the temple, and fulfill prophecies that had been laid down centuries earlier. In this video, we'll explore the origins of the Iranian people, their ascent to power, and their indispensable role in shaping both the historical narratives of the Old Testament and the prophetic visions that forecast the future. Through this journey, we aim to shed light on Iran's integral position within the biblical prophecies, revealing its enduring impact on past events and its potential implications for the future. The best way for us to start our journey today is by tracing Persia's origins from the lineage of Noah, a figure pivotal not only for his role in the biblical flood, but also for his descendants' impact on regions that would one day encompass Persia. After the deluge that swept the ancient world, Noah emerged as a patriarch whose descendants would spread across the globe, sowing the seeds of new civilizations. Among these were the sons of Shem, from whom the Persians are believed to have descended. This lineage, particularly through Elam, son of Shem, established a connection to the ancient Elamites, predecessors to the Persians. The narrative of Noah and his family's survival and propagation is more than a story of deliverance. It's a foundational element in understanding the distribution of peoples and the divine hand guiding their destinies. Genesis 10 lays out the table of nations, a detailed genealogy that not only tracks Noah's descendants, but also sets the stage for understanding the geopolitical landscapes of the Bible. The Elamites, for example, are mentioned as part of this table, linking Noah's legacy directly to the region that would become Persia. This genealogical map does more than recount lineage. It prophesies the roles these nations would play in the divine narrative, with Persia's role becoming crucial as foretold through the prophets, especially Daniel. The blessings and curses Noah pronounced upon his sons and their descendants echo through history with significant theological implications. Shem's line, receiving blessings for their righteousness, ostensibly set forth a lineage characterized by leadership and devotion to divine principles. These attributes can be seen in the historical roles Persia would play, from Cyrus the Great's decree to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem to the protection of Jewish exiles. These actions not only fulfilled biblical prophecy, but also highlighted the moral and spiritual dynamics at play, illustrating the continued relevance of Noah's influence. After establishing the deep-rooted connections Noah's lineage has with the ancient world, we pivot to the emergence of significant empires that were prophesied in Daniel's visions. The first of these empires, Babylon, not only signifies a direct prophetic fulfillment, but also a cultural and political evolution from the ancient seeds planted by Noah's descendants. In the prophet Daniel's first vision, the lion with eagle's wings vividly represents the Babylonian Empire, known for its majesty and swift expansion under rulers like Nebuchadnezzar. The lion, a symbol of kingly authority and power, combined with the eagle's wings depicting speed and scope of influence, illustrates Babylon's rapid growth and its dominant stature among the nations. Babylon's ascendancy as a regional power significantly shaped the Near Eastern political and cultural landscape. Its achievements, including the famed Hanging Gardens and the Tower of Babel, reflect a culmination of various cultural influences, including those traceable back to Shem's descendants. Babylon's role in the exile of the Jewish people and its eventual downfall are pivotal events that echo the prophetic words given to Noah's lineage, illustrating the interplay of divine providence and human ambition. Babylon's portrayal in Daniel's vision underscores themes of hubris and divine retribution, a recurring cycle seen in the rise and fall of empires. The transformation of the lion from a beast to a standing figure with a human mind reflects Nebuchadnezzar's humbling before God, mirroring the broader biblical theme of divine sovereignty over earthly rulers. As Babylon's light wanes, The stage is set for the rise of the Medo-Persian Empire, an amalgamation of powers that further shapes the prophetic narrative. This transition not only reflects the continuous movement of history, but also the unfolding of God's plans as foreseen in the visions of Daniel. The bear, described as being raised up on one side with 3 ribs in its mouth, symbolizes the Medo-Persian Empire's strength and dominance. The lopsided stance of the bear suggests the unequal partnership between the Medes and the Persians, with the Persians eventually asserting greater control. The 3 ribs represent the major conquests of this empire, likely including Lydia, Babylon, and Egypt, which solidified its power. The Medo-Persian Empire, known for its administrative sophistication and military prowess, played a pivotal role in shaping the ancient Near East. Its policy of relative tolerance towards the peoples it conquered is exemplified by Cyrus the Great's decree that allowed the Jewish exiles in Babylon to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. This act of benevolence is often viewed as a fulfillment of prophetic words, demonstrating the intricate ways divine providence interacts with human history. The bear's command to devour much flesh highlights the brutal reality of imperial expansion, while also underlining the sovereign control of God over the affairs of nations. The Medo-Persian Empire's role in biblical prophecy, especially in facilitating the return of the Jewish people to their homeland, underscores the themes of redemption and divine orchestration present in the scriptures. As the echoes of Persian dominance began to fade, a new power swiftly rose from the west, bringing with it a storm of change and conquest. This new era was heralded by Alexander the Great, whose ambitions stretched the bounds of the known world. His empire, fleet as the Leopard and as divided as its 4 heads, swept through the ancient lands, reshaping the destinies of many, including those once ruled by the Persians. In this relentless march of progress and turmoil, the threads of prophecy continued to weave through the fabric of history, illustrating the divine hand at play in the rise and fall of kingdoms. The third beast, described as a leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads, captures the essence of Alexander the Great's Greek Empire with its rapid expansion and subsequent division. The leopard, known for its speed and agility, perfectly symbolizes Alexander's swift and decisive military campaigns that reshaped the ancient world. The 4 wings emphasize the extraordinary speed of these conquests, which spread Greek culture and influence far beyond traditional boundaries. The 4 heads of the leopard signify the empire's division after Alexander's untimely death. His vast territory was split among his 4 generals, leading to the formation of separate Hellenistic kingdoms. This fragmentation marked a pivotal moment in history, as it led to the spread of Greek ideas and customs across the Middle East, North Africa, and into Asia. Alexander's campaigns brought about the Hellenization of the regions he conquered, intertwining Greek culture with local traditions. This cultural fusion had profound impacts, particularly in areas once part of the Persian Empire, where Greek and Persian influences melded to form a unique cultural and philosophical landscape. The legacy of this era is visible in the spread of Greek-style governance, art, philosophy, and science, which continued to influence these regions long after the original empire fragmented. The swift rise and fragmentation of Alexander's empire not only fulfilled Daniel's prophecy, but also set the stage for further developments crucial to biblical narratives. The spread of Hellenistic culture paved the way for the New Testament events, where the Greek language and cultural context played significant roles in the dissemination of Christian teachings. Furthermore, the divisions of the Greek Empire contributed to the complex geopolitical environment that shaped Judea and the surrounding regions during the Roman period. As the Greek Empire reshaped the ancient world, the threads of prophecy continued to weave through history. The legacy of Noah's descendants and the divine orchestration of events were evident as the impact of Hellenistic culture persisted, influencing religious, social, and political developments in accordance with ancient foretellings. This period of transformation, marked by both conquest and cultural exchange, underscores the persistent influence of divine will in the affairs of nations. The Roman Empire, represented in Daniel's vision as a beast distinct from its predecessors, possessed iron teeth and 10 horns, symbolizing its unmatched military might and complex political structure. Unlike any beast before it, this depiction underscores Rome's unique and formidable nature, capable of crushing adversaries and reshaping the ancient world. At its zenith, Rome controlled vast territories, extending its influence from Western Europe to the Near East. However, its power was not unchallenged. The Roman Empire engaged in protracted conflicts with Persian empires, first with the Parthians and later the Sassanids, whose territories encompassed modern-day Iran. These conflicts, spanning several centuries, were crucial in shaping Rome's eastern policy and had significant implications for the region's stability and cultural exchanges. The Roman-Persian Wars underscore the ongoing struggle between major empires, reflecting the biblical prophecies of kingdoms rising and falling. These wars highlight the strategic and cultural significance of Persian territories, contesting control over crucial trade routes and influencing religious and political alliances. The interaction between Roman and Persian empires during these conflicts provides a direct link to Persia's enduring relevance in biblical and prophetic narratives. Rome's portrayal as the fourth beast with 10 horns and a boastful little horn speaks to the themes of arrogance and blasphemy against God. The empire's frequent clashes with Persian forces, and the challenge they pose to Roman authority, align with prophetic warnings about powers that exalt themselves against divine sovereignty. Moreover, the eventual decline of Rome, hastened by these exhausting wars, mirrors the prophetic vision of the beast's downfall, a divine judgment against empires that defy God's ultimate authority. As the Roman Empire influenced the course of history, the echoes of Noah's lineage and the divine prophecies continued to resonate. Rome's complex interactions with the Persian world, from military confrontations to cultural exchanges, illustrate the fulfillment of ancient prophecies through the lens of imperial ambitions and divine oversight. This thread not only highlights the historical impact of Roman-Persian conflicts, but also enriches our understanding of how these ancient events align with the biblical teachings concerning nations and rulers. As Daniel's visions foretold, the Medo-Persian Empire would rise and fall, followed by Greek and Roman dominions. Yet the prophetic story did not end with these empires. Even as Rome consolidated power and spread its influence, the land once ruled by the Medes and Persians was far from forgotten. In the shadows of these mighty kingdoms, Persia quietly prepared to rise again, driven by a determination to reclaim its cultural and spiritual identity. It was in this crucible of shifting empires that the Sassanid Empire emerged, a force that would not only restore Persian influence but also shape the religious and political currents that continue to ripple into the present day. The fall of the Medo-Persian Empire marked the end of an era, but Persian culture endured, surviving under Greek rule and later Roman pressure. In 224 CE, the Sassanid dynasty rose to power, replacing the weakened Parthian rulers and positioning itself as the true heir to ancient Persian glory. Under the banner of the Sassanid kings, Zoroastrianism was revived, becoming the empire's official religion and unifying force. The Sassanids saw themselves not merely as rulers, but as guardians of a divine order, echoing the themes of Daniel's prophecies, where empires rise and fall under the watchful hand of divine providence. Their ambition to restore Persia's greatness reflected a persistent hope embedded in the region's legacy, rooted in the ancient promises and judgments given to Noah's descendants. The religious revival under the Sassanids was not limited to Zoroastrianism. The empire's policies shaped the lives of Jewish, Christian, and other religious minorities within its borders. These communities, living under Persian rule, continued to develop eschatological ideas that had been seeded during the Babylonian exile. The Sassanid rulers, much like the earlier kings of Persia, were instruments in a larger divine plan, whether knowingly or unknowingly. This alignment with prophetic themes continued the legacy of earlier Persian kings, such as Cyrus the Great, who had been divinely appointed to fulfill God's purposes. The empire's interaction with religious communities nurtured the spread of apocalyptic ideas that would later influence early Christian and Jewish thought. The Sassanid Empire was not content to exist in the shadow of the Roman world. For centuries, these two great powers engaged in a series of wars, locked in a struggle for dominance. These Roman-Persian conflicts mirror the continuous rise and fall of kingdoms seen in Daniel's vision, underscoring the impermanence of even the greatest human empires. Though these wars exhausted both Rome and Persia, they also maintained Persia's relevance in the ancient world, ensuring that the land foretold in Daniel's prophecies would not fade into obscurity. The endurance of Persia throughout these conflicts was not only a geopolitical reality, but also a spiritual one, as it demonstrated the divine orchestration of history, with each kingdom fulfilling its role in God's greater plan. While the Sassanid Empire ultimately fell to the rising tide of Islam in the 7th century, its influence endured. Persian culture persisted, shaping the identity of the region that would become modern Iran. The Sassanids' revival of Persian traditions and their emphasis on religious order laid the foundation for Iran's distinct identity, one that still draws from both Zoroastrian and Islamic traditions today. The story of the Sassanid Empire serves as a reminder of the prophetic themes introduced in Daniel. No human empire, no matter how mighty, is permanent. Persia's survival and transformation across centuries reflect the continued unfolding of God's plans, where the rise and fall of empires are but steps in the divine orchestration of history. The legacy of the Sassanid Empire and its centuries-long struggle with Rome set the stage for the next era of world history. Even as empires rose and fell, the land of Persia, modern-day Iran, remained a significant player on the world stage. The prophetic influence that began in Daniel's visions and continued through Persia's cultural and religious development has not disappeared. In fact, it finds renewed relevance in the modern age, where the region's role in geopolitics and prophecy is as vital as ever. The story that began with the lineage of Noah, intertwined with the rise and fall of empires, continues to unfold in the present day. Modern Iran, rooted in the legacy of ancient Persia, remains a focal point in global politics, religion, and prophecy. As in the days of Daniel, this region still plays a role in the divine tapestry of history, with events that resonate deeply with ancient prophetic themes. Iran's geopolitical role today is, a fascinating continuation of prophetic patterns. Iran's influence on the world stage today mirrors the patterns of conflict, cooperation, and cultural exchange that characterized the empires of the past. Much like the Sassanid Empire's interactions with Rome and Byzantium, Iran today stands as a major geopolitical player, often in opposition to Western powers. The tensions between Iran and Israel, as well as the broader political struggles between Iran and the West, echo the ancient conflicts between Persia and other empires, highlighting the continuity of these patterns across time. These modern dynamics align with the themes from Daniel's visions. Kingdoms rise and fall, and empires clash in cycles, with divine oversight guiding events toward a greater purpose. The prophetic importance of Iran today is underscored by its central role in regional conflicts and its influence in shaping global affairs, from economic policies to religious tensions. Iran's cultural identity, shaped by centuries of Persian traditions and the influence of Zoroastrianism and Islam, still carries echoes of its ancient role in biblical prophecy. Zoroastrian ideas, such as the concept of cosmic dualism and final judgment, influenced both Jewish apocalyptic literature and early Christian thought, reminding us that Iran's religious significance is not limited to its modern context, but is deeply rooted in history. In contemporary times, Islamic eschatology, particularly within Iran's Shia tradition, shares certain themes with biblical prophecy, such as the expectation of a divinely guided figure, the Mahdi, and a final confrontation between good and evil. These parallels with biblical prophecies further emphasize Iran's role in the ongoing spiritual narrative, where ancient and modern expectations of divine intervention align in surprising ways. In both Christian and Islamic eschatology, the land of Persia or Iran holds a prophetic place. Some interpretations of the Book of Ezekiel, chapters 38 and 39, see Persia as part of the coalition of nations involved in a final conflict, often referred to as the War of Gog and Magog. These prophecies, while open to interpretation, reflect the enduring idea that Iran will play a role in the culmination of world events, just as it did in ancient times. These eschatological themes, combined with Iran's political relevance, make the region a subject of fascination for those seeking signs of prophetic fulfillment in current events. Whether through its alliances, opposition to Israel, or regional ambitions, Iran's actions are viewed by some as part of a divinely orchestrated plan that continues to unfold in accordance with ancient prophecies. The story of Persia, from the lineage of Noah to the Sassanid Empire and beyond, is not just a tale of ancient empires. It is a living thread that stretches into the present day. Iran's role in shaping world history and prophecy reflects the same themes introduced in the days of Daniel. Empires rise and fall, nations clash and cooperate, and through it all, God's plan moves steadily forward. As we observe Iran's place in today's world, we are reminded that the ancient prophecies still speak to us. The rise and fall of kingdoms, foretold thousands of years ago, continue to play out in ways that demonstrate the unchanging nature of divine sovereignty. From Noah's descendants to modern Iran, the prophetic legacy of Persia endures, a testament to the unfolding story of God's purpose for nations, history, and the future. The story of Iran, ancient Persia, threads through the scriptures, from the lineage of Noah to the prophetic visions of Daniel, and continues to shape the world today. Empires have risen and fallen, as foretold by Daniel's visions, but Persia's significance has never been erased from the unfolding of God's plan. The role of Cyrus the Great in restoring Israel, the Sassanid Empire's cultural and religious legacy, and Iran's modern influence all point to the same truth. Persia is not just a forgotten empire, but a nation woven into the fabric of divine prophecy. The prophetic visions in the Bible reveal a pattern, one of kingdoms rising and falling under divine guidance, with each empire playing its part in the grand story of history. From Babylon to Greece, from Rome to Persia, the flow of history aligns with the hand of God, moving nations toward his ultimate purposes. The land of Persia, now modern Iran, remains a key player, echoing its ancient relevance in geopolitical tensions, religious conflicts, and eschatological expectations that continue to captivate the world. Iran's story is more than historical events. It is part of a prophetic narrative that stretches from the past into the future, deeply intertwined with the destiny of God's chosen people. Whether in the ancient clashes between Persia and Greece or the Roman-Persian conflicts, we see the recurring themes of human ambition, divine oversight, and ultimate justice. Even today, Iran stands at the heart of world affairs, bearing the legacy of its biblical ancestors and continuing the fulfillment of prophecies yet to come. As empires rise and fall, the prophecies reveal that no human power endures forever. Yet, through every shift in power, God's plan advances, drawing nations and peoples toward an appointed end that reflects his divine will. The legacy of Persia, traced from Noah through Daniel's visions and into the present, reminds us that history is not a series of disconnected events. It is the unfolding of God's purposes, with every nation playing its part in the fulfillment of prophecy, Persia, now Iran, among them. Just as Daniel saw the beasts rise and fall, we live in an age where the threads of prophecy continue to unfold, and the role of Iran is far from finished. In every conflict and alliance, in every cultural or religious shift, The ancient truths still echo. Nations serve God's purposes, whether they recognize it or not. As we watch the events of today's world unfold, we are invited to see them through the lens of prophecy, where the past informs the present and both point toward the future fulfillment of God's plan. Just as Cyrus the Great restored the Jewish people and rebuilt the temple according to divine prophecy, the land of Persia continues to shape history, both through ancient empires and modern Iran's role in world events. What are your thoughts on all of this? Make sure to share them with me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video and would like to see more videos just like this one, then I'd like to personally invite you to join our growing community by subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you are always the first to be notified when we drop a new video just like this one. Until then, make sure you check out our vast library of videos that I just know you're going to love.